Picture this. You're out on a game drive in East Africa in a Land Rover with a bunch of friends, and you're watching some elephants and taking a bunch of pictures. All morning, your stomach has been rumbling a bit, but suddenly you feel like you need to find a bathroom, and there isn't one around, and it's dangerous to be getting out of the car. You can't leave the vehicle. Or maybe you're on a 6 hour flight home from Europe, stuck in a window seat, desperately waiting for the seatbelt sign to turn off so you can make a sprint to the lavatory. Yeah, traveler's diarrhea. It's the one souvenir no one wants. Let's talk about how to avoid it, treat it, and get back to enjoying your trip. Hi, I'm John. I'm a Canadian family doctor and an experienced traveler who's learned these lessons the hard way. I didn't have to come up with these scenarios, I've lived them. If you're a senior solo traveler or just someone who doesn't want their trip ruined by diarrhea, stick around. Traveler's diarrhea is spread through contaminated food and water. It's most often caused by bacteria like E. coli or Campylobacter, or viruses like norovirus or rotavirus, less commonly by parasites like Giardia and Amoebiasis. The risk is highest in places with poor sanitation, but even in safe destinations, food handling mistakes can happen. Cruise ships, for example, are notorious for norovirus outbreaks. And since the pathogens enter your body through your mouth and set up shop in your bowel, there are some common sense bits of advice that you could follow. First of all, eat smart. Stick to hot, freshly cooked food. Be cautious with buffets and salads and street food. If you want to eat street food, make sure that it's being cooked immediately for you. Drink safe. Use bottled, boiled, or filtered water. Avoid ice cubes unless you can trust the source. Then there's hand hygiene. Wash your hands often, particularly before eating. And when that's not possible, use a hand sanitizer. Pepto-Bismol can be used for prevention. 2 chewable tablets 4 times a day can reduce your risk by about 60%. It's not to be used by kids, pregnant women, or people allergic to aspirin. Dukoral is an oral vaccine that can provide partial protection against cholera and some strains of E. coli. It's a 2 dose oral vaccine that you take prior to travel. Now, it's not foolproof, but it's worth considering for high risk trips because it can lessen the sickness that you get from an E. coli bacterial bowel infection. Now, what about treatment? Well, most cases resolve in 24 to 48 hours with basic care. Here are some of the things that help. First of all, rehydrate. Drink plenty of fluids. Oral rehydration salts can also help. But if you don't have them, you can mix 1 liter of clean water with a half teaspoon of salt and 6 teaspoons of sugar to make your own. Or you can sip on broth, weak tea, or even sports drinks like Gatorade. Loperamide or Imodium can help slow the diarrhea when you absolutely need to function, like before a long flight. You take 2 milligrams after the first loose stool, and then after each subsequent loose stool, you can take 1 milligram up to a maximum of 8 milligrams per day. You should avoid it if you have bloody diarrhea or fever, though, because your body needs to flush out that infection. Pepto-Bismol, if you haven't been using it for prevention, can ease cramps and mild diarrhea. Most cases don't need antibiotics, but if the diarrhea is severe, 6 or more watery stools a day, lasting over 3 days, or includes fever or blood, you might consider treatment with antibiotic. Azithromycin, or Zithromax, is the best choice for Asia and Africa, where resistance to other antibiotics is high. The dose is 500 milligrams once a day for 1 to 3 days. Ciprofloxacin, or Cipro, works in most other regions. The dose is 500 milligrams twice a day for 1 to 3 days. If you're traveling somewhere high risk, consider asking your physician to prescribe you an antibiotic that you can bring along just in case you need it. Now, when should you see a doctor? If you have bloody diarrhea, a high fever, 38.5 centigrade or over 101 Fahrenheit, if your symptoms last more than 3 days, and particularly if you're severely dehydrated, feeling dizzy, weak, and not urinating much, you should probably get some medical attention. Occasionally, some IV fluids are necessary to make you feel better quickly. Now, what if it doesn't go away? If your diarrhea lingers for weeks after your trip, you might have a parasitic infection like Giardia or amoebiasis. These can cause bloating, foul smelling diarrhea, fatigue, and occasionally bloody diarrhea. If this happens, see a doctor so that you can get stool tests done and a treatment when the pathogen has been confirmed. Different pathogens respond to different treatments, so the treatment needs to be specific. Traveler's diarrhea happens to everyone eventually, but knowing how to treat it and recover can keep it from ruining your trip. And remember, every seasoned traveler has a story. Hopefully, yours doesn't involve a safari truck or a long haul flight. If this video has been helpful, hit the like button or maybe even subscribe for more senior solo travel tips. Safe travels, and may Montezuma never take his revenge on you. See you next time.